The more you talk, the less people respect you. Most people do not lose respect because of what they say, but because they say entirely too much. You think you are building a connection. You think you are proving your intelligence, but in reality, you are slowly bleeding your own authority dry. Every unnecessary word is a leak in your power. Today, we face a brutal psychological truth. If you want to be heard, you must first learn how to shut up. Welcome back to the Quiet 1%. Society constantly encourages us to speak our minds. We are told that to be seen, we must be loud. We are pressured to fill every awkward silence, to constantly update the world on our lives, and to have an opinion on absolutely everything. But let us be completely honest with ourselves. You have probably done this without realizing it. You walk away from a conversation, or a date, or a meeting, and you feel a sudden sinking wave of regret. You ask yourself, why did I tell them all of that? Why did I over-explain myself? You feel exposed. That feeling is your intuition telling you that you just gave away your power. Over-talking is not a sign of confidence, it is a symptom of anxiety. It is the destruction of your mystery and the surrender of your control. In this masterclass, we are going to break down the 9 psychological reasons why your words are actively costing you respect. We will uncover why powerful people use the weapon of silence and how you can instantly elevate your status by doing the exact same thing. If you're ready to command the room without raising your voice, subscribe now. Let us begin. 1. Oversharing lowers your value. Let us start with the most fundamental law of economics, the law of scarcity. Gold is incredibly valuable because it's rare. Dirt is worthless because it's everywhere. Your words, your thoughts, and your personal life follow the exact same economic principle. When you share everything about yourself immediately, you flood the market. You experience verbal inflation. Think about how people act on a first date. They vomit their entire life story, their traumas, and their daily routines onto the table within the first hour. They think they're building a deep connection, but psychologically, they are killing the intrigue. When people have unrestricted access to your inner world, you lose your value. There is no mystery left to uncover. There is no puzzle for the brain to solve. If you want to be respected, you must restrict access. Treat your personal life like highly classified information. Reveal it slowly and only to those who have earned the security clearance. 2. Talking too much signals insecurity. Be honest with yourself about this next point. A loudmouth is almost always a cover for a fragile ego. When someone cannot tolerate silence, it's usually because they desperately need to be validated. They need the room to acknowledge them. They need to prove they're smart or funny or successful. You've probably noticed this in social settings. There's always one person who has to top every story. If you went to Europe, they went to Europe for longer. If you had a hard day, they had a harder day. This is a massive display of insecurity. When you're constantly talking, you are subconsciously begging the group for approval. You are asking them to tell you that you are good enough. Truly confident people do not beg. They know their value. They don't need to speak 1,000 words to prove they deserve a seat at the table. When you stop seeking approval, you naturally stop over-talking. Let us look at a real-world scenario where over-talking destroys authority. Consider a man named James. James was just promoted to a management position at his company. He was highly skilled, but he suffered from imposter syndrome. In his first meeting as the leader, he wanted to make sure his team liked him and respected his vision, so he started talking. He explained every single detail of his thought process. He justified his new rules. He shared personal stories about his weekend to seem relatable. He filled every second of silence with nervous chatter. He thought he was being a transparent, friendly boss, but his team saw something completely different.
They saw a man who was unsure of himself. They saw a man who felt the need to defend his title. Because he over-explained every decision, his employees started debating him on minor details. They stopped seeing him as an authority figure and started seeing him as a peer they could easily manipulate. In just 1 hour, James talked his way out of their respect. 3. Silence signals control. If over-talking signals insecurity, then silence signals absolute control. The most powerful person in the room is never the one rushing to speak. It's the person who is completely comfortable in the silence. When a difficult question is asked, the weak person panics and immediately starts rambling to fill the void. The strong person pauses. They let the silence hang in the air. They hold eye contact. They think before they respond. This simple pause demonstrates immense emotional regulation. It shows that you are not intimidated by the pressure of the moment. Calm, measured speech equals unshakable authority. When you speak slowly and deliberately, you force everyone else to slow down and listen to you on your terms. You become the metronome of the conversation. 4. You give away your leverage. This is where most people lose respect without realizing it. In any argument, negotiation, or conflict, information is leverage. Every unnecessary word you speak is a weapon you are actively handing to your opponent. When someone criticizes you, the natural instinct is to over-explain your side of the story. You give a 10-minute defense of your actions. But the more you explain, the more defensive you look. And more importantly, you give the other person 10 minutes of raw material to pick apart and use against you. Never give away your leverage. If someone crosses your boundary, state the boundary clearly and concisely. Do not apologize. Do not offer a backstory. The less you say, the harder it is for them to argue with you. You become a smooth, unshakable surface that they can't grasp. 5. People stop listening. Let us look at the cognitive reality of the human brain. The brain has a strict filter for noise. It actively tunes out meaningless data to conserve energy. When you use 1,000 words to say something that could have been said in 10, you trigger attention fatigue. People literally stop listening to you. Their eyes glaze over. They start nodding politely while thinking about their grocery list. If you are known as someone who talks in endless paragraphs, people will inherently devalue your input before you even open your mouth. They will assume what you are saying is not important, because most of it never is. If you want your words to carry heavy weight, you must speak in bullet points. Be concise. Get to the core of the issue immediately. When your words are rare and sharp, people will lean in to hear them.
6. You become predictable. Predictability is the absolute death of influence. When people know exactly what you are going to say before you even say it, they stop respecting your mind. We all know someone like this, the coworker who always complains about the exact same problem, the friend who always gives the exact same generic advice. There is no mystery. There is no dynamic depth. When you share every thought that enters your head, you map out your entire psychology for the world to see. You become easily readable and easily manipulated. To maintain respect, you must cultivate unpredictability. Hold back your opinions. Play devil's advocate in your own mind without saying it out loud. When you are unpredictable, people are forced to stay alert around you. They cannot put you in a neat little box. 7. Emotional reactivity. When you talk too much, you are almost always reacting instead of thinking. Words spoken in haste are driven by raw, unfiltered emotion. Anger, fear, jealousy, and excitement all push us to run our mouths. And when you speak from a place of raw emotion, you almost always say something you regret. You reveal a weakness. You insult someone unnecessarily. You make a promise you cannot keep. A loss of composure equals an immediate loss of respect. Your silence is your ultimate shield against emotional mistakes.
When you feel the urge to lash out, swallow the words. Feel the emotion, but do not give it a voice. Process it internally. People deeply respect individuals who can maintain a stoic, quiet exterior while everyone else is losing their minds. Let us contrast our first story with someone who understands quiet power. Consider a woman named Clara. Clara sat on the board of a highly competitive startup. During a critical meeting, a massive financial error was discovered. Instantly, the room devolved into chaos. Executives were shouting, pointing fingers, and frantically making excuses to protect their own departments. The noise was deafening. Throughout the entire hour of panic, Clara said absolutely nothing. She sat perfectly still, observing the panic, analyzing who was lying, and processing the data. Eventually, the executives exhausted themselves. The shouting died down into a tense, heavy silence. Everyone turned to look at Clara. She leaned forward and spoke exactly 2 sentences. She identified the root cause of the error and assigned a specific, non-negotiable task to fix it. Total obedience followed. She did not have to yell to take control. Her quiet observation made her the only rational authority in the room. She commanded the space precisely because she refused to join the noise. 8. Quiet people are perceived as stronger. This is a fascinating psychological phenomenon. Stillness is inherently intimidating. When you encounter someone who speaks very little, your brain automatically assumes they are analyzing you. You project wisdom, depth, and strength onto them. Think about the classic archetypes of power in movies and literature: the mafia boss, the elite general, the wise mentor. They do not babble, they do not gossip, they observe, and when they finally speak, it changes the entire trajectory of the room. You can tap into this exact psychological archetype in your own life. Say less, but mean infinitely more. When you stop wasting your energy on trivial chatter, your mere presence becomes a force of nature. 9. The power of strategic silence. We must understand that silence is not just an absence of words. It is a highly effective, active psychological tool. Sometimes the strongest move you can possibly make is to make no move at all. In a negotiation, if someone gives you a lowball offer, do not argue, do not justify your higher price. Just look at them and remain completely silent. The tension will become unbearable for them. The human brain hates the awkward void, and they will almost always start talking to fill it. Often, they will negotiate against themselves just to break the silence. They will reveal their true limits or offer a better deal without you saying a single word. Use strategic silence to let others expose their hand. Let them trip over their own words. We have reached the core of this psychology. If you remember nothing else from this masterclass, burn this truth into your mind. Respect is not earned by saying more. It is earned by saying only what matters. Every word you speak should serve a purpose. It should add value, provide clarity, or establish a boundary. If it does none of those things, it should remain unspoken. When you stop giving your words away for free, the world will finally start paying attention to what you have to say. Intentional speech is the hallmark of the quiet 1%. It is the ultimate display of self-mastery. Starting today, challenge yourself to observe more and speak less. When you feel the desperate urge to jump into a conversation just to hear your own voice, take a breath, step back. Watch how the dynamics of the room shift when you become the silent observer. Embrace the mystery. Protect your leverage. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. If this video helped you reclaim your power, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, I have a question for you to answer in the comments below. Do you think talking less would change how people see you in your personal or professional life? Share your thoughts. Stay composed, stay quiet. If you want to know the unspoken power of people who stay quiet, watch this video. We'll see you in the next video.